Ahima Coding family, how's everybody doing today? Hey, Go Clark, good to see you. Janelle, I know she's like happy to be here because this will keep her distracted from the storm. Girl, that's all that's been on TikTok today too. I hope everybody fares well. Looks like it just took a turn for the south, so hopefully it'll just die out and not go across the whole state and ruin everybody's night tonight. Hey guys, good to see you. K4, good to see you. Mary, how's it going? Tasha, good to see you. Cassandra, JP, Micah, how's everybody doing? Megan, you're very welcome. Anybody have any codes or anything that they're having issues with they want me to help them with? Oh, it looks like I got one message. That is so weird. Okay. On Monday night's last live, that was weird. On the, I was streaming Monday night after the normal live doing book prep for 2025, and no one talked at all, which was really weird. For a whole hour no one chatted, and then I was just scrolling through my computer and saw that one person actually did chat. I just didn't get the notification that somebody was there. Anyway, good to see you guys. We got 12 of you guys on. We've got 6 likes on the chat so far. Let me get my Word document up here for today. I've been working on this outline for this study guide, not just for one subject, but for all 18 subjects of the exam. I've been trying to get one out for like 4 years, but I'm too distractible for that kind of stuff. But I at least have all 18 subjects outlined in print. It's all there. I just want to add photos and more reference questions. And then my, okay, in this area, you need to highlight, you know, your intras, infras, extras, supras, you know, that kind of stuff. The little tidbits to go along with the data. But I took all, like an entire study guide, and instead of having it all tons of words and paragraphs and stuff, it's more of just the bullet points of what you need out of that chapter, like the study of medicine, prior exam question areas, like, ABNs, the different parts of Medicare and what's inside them. Just the breakdown of that chapter. I don't need the whole chapter, but give me the breakdown. And then I'll tell you what to highlight and make notes in for your manuals, and then show you off my favorite pictures or anything else that might help in that area, like a table or something. But I've got 80% of this thing done for 2025, so hopefully I'll get this sucker published for you guys. That would be great. But especially before the CPT book comes out, because I get really super busy with the CPT book comes out, to making notes and stuff like that for the new year. Where is my modifiers? There we go. Do some more work in modifiers today. Scene 2, there we go. And make my camera a lot less. And let me make sure the Word document is on where I want it to be. Yeah, it should be. And then this we can make smaller. Yes, yes. Yeah, I made the Word document smaller. Let's not do that. Let's just, I keep grabbing the wrong one. And let's move it over here. Here we go. Also prepping for Sunday's workshop. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. We're going to do 75 practice exam questions in the same pace as the certification exam. All brand new questions that I haven't done before in all 18 areas. So that's pretty cool. Trying to work on that too during the days. Here is a quick little matchy match. You CCS people, CCA, have 10 questions at the end that you just match with 10 definitions. So like to do these every so often to keep your guys' skills up to date. And everybody can work on it. It's good progress, good practice anyway. While I catch up with chat. I don't have the TikTok live on right now. Let's see. Thanks, Go-Kart. McNair. I finally got my date for my 4th attempt. And December 27th. You are waiting till the last day. That's all right. McNair, the 27th of December. I went over something Monday about the differences between a gram and a graphy. That was recently on the exam. Be sure you know whatever I said Monday about that particular situation. One's a procedure and one's an image. The gram is the image and the aphi thing is a procedure. So that was something new that might be helpful to know on the exam. I was on TikTok last night doing a live stream of pocket prep questions and streaming Harry Potter in the background while I was working on the study guide, and lo and behold, guess who I saw come in there? AAPC official. Yeah, so they checked in last night on TikTok. I don't know who's running their TikTok account, but that was pretty cool to see them in my live. All right, we are going to pass McNair. The December 27th is the day you pass your certification. It is not your 4th attempt. Going forward, your mindset is that's the day you pass your certification exam. That's the day. And then we want to go over 77427. What's going on there? Can I watch the 2023 cardio videos? Yes, of course. Absolutely. You can watch the 2022 ones too. The codes have not changed a lot in cardiovascular, or I would have redone the notes, and I didn't for 2024 in cardiovascular. So the notes are just fine, and so are the videos. If the video's up, it's still good. I booked my next attempt also, Janelle, too, for December 28th. Awesome. That's not your next attempt. That is the day that you are passing your certification exam. So when you type and tell me a date, you're going to start typing the day I pass my CPC exam will be on this date. All right, that radiology code. Let's see, 774. What's going on there? 77427. Radiation treatment. Oh, yeah. So radiation, this is really interesting area. There's only 2 codes for radiation. It's 77427 and 77431. And what they're telling you in the guidelines before you code this over here in this section right here is that radiation has to be pre-billed and pre-thought out. You can't bill per session. You can't see a patient today and think they were only going to have 3 treatments of radiation and then you end up doing 10 or what have you. It doesn't matter. You're only going to get paid for your whatever. So when you diagnose a patient with a cancer and you come up with a treatment plan, it has to be done in such a way that everything's global, kind of like OB and delivery. You know, when you're doing OB and delivery, nothing like you come in every month and get your urine tested, and they measure your fundal height, and they do your heartbeat assessments and your blood pressure and all that stuff. No one gets paid for none of that for 9 months. And then when you get deliver at the hospital, still no one's getting paid for that either. When you come back in for your 6-week checkup thing, and you're all done and final, or 8 weeks, depending on a C-section, that's when they'll bill for your global OB code that's in your CPT book. And that's when they get paid for all that stuff they've already done. All the office visits, the payroll that they had to pay for, all that stuff for all those visits finally gets paid with that particular one code, which is a global, pays for all your OB and delivery pre-visits, the delivery, and then it pays for your post-op. So radiation is the same thing. We are going to diagnose you. We're going to the best of our ability, come up with a treatment plan. And the 31 code, the 77431 code, is your type of cancer only needs 1 to 2 courses of treatment therapy. Let's say we got you diagnosed with thyroid cancer really, really early, stage 1 or 2, whatever. We go in, we surgically remove the cancer, it hadn't spread. We're going to zap it with some radiation and you should be fine. We'll do annual PET scans or whatever, but you should be fine after 2 treatments of radiation. Great. Well, what if you take your PET scan after you've done your 2 treatments and there's one little bitty white little artifact in the screen, and you decide that let's just zap her with 1 more radiation treatment. You can't come back and bill for that additional radiation treatment. You just have to do it, and you don't get paid for it because the before plan for this patient was only to do 1 to 2 treatments. If you're going to do 5 or more treatments, then you're going to bill 77427. And then if your patient finishes all 5 treatments and you decide you want to do 2 more treatments after that, you can't come back and bill a 77431 for only 1 to 2 treatments. You're only going to be allowed to bill the 27, and then that's for however many treatments, and that's it. So those codes have a little bit of interesting guidelines with them, but it's not too hard. You just bill one or the other, and you bill based off of what was presented as their treatment plan before you start treating their cancer, which, good Lord, you don't know how cancer is going to react to treatment, which, I don't know, it makes no sense to me, but, you know, the whole system of U.S. healthcare is another thing that will get me on my high horse. But anyway, hopefully that helps you out. Who asked that? About the 77427. Fagan, does that help? Hey, Bandit. Hey, Jen, I take my exam again on November 23rd. November 23rd. And this is Smith. But I only have the 2023 books. That's fine. As long as you are taking an AAP certification, then you are perfectly fine. If you're doing ahima, they don't allow 2023 books, but absolutely you can use the 2023 books. What you do need to have in them is the new times for E&M and the hernia codes, I think. Didn't they update? Or was that in 2023? From 2022 to 2023? Got to look in the book and see real quick, because I can't remember. Let me see the 2023 real quick. This is the 2023, and let me just look at the hernia real quick and make sure. The years are starting to run in on each other. No, they're already, yeah, they were new for 2023, and they're in the 2023 book. So good, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so the 2024 E&M codes, I think we have, don't we have a little bit of difference? The E&M. Let me see real quick. Our times are not ranges anymore. They're more of a, what book is this? This is the 2024. Okay. And then my 2023. Is there a difference in the times? Yeah. It's not that big of a deal, but in the 2024 book of the E&M, for 99204, the CPT code descriptor says that the time is 45 minutes, must be met or exceeded. In your 2023 book, it says from 45 to 59 minutes equals 204. And then for 99205, it says 60 minutes must be met or exceeded. And then in our 2023 book, it says from 60 to 74 minutes. It's just that they took off the range of time, and they just want, and they changed the wording to say the first number, and then it must be met or exceeded. It's just a wording change, really. I don't think it'll affect you on the certification exam, but that's just a little bit of difference, and that's not that big of a deal. Still the same numbers, it's just they took out the range. I do have a document that will turn your 2023 into a 2024. You just go through the book and delete the codes by putting a big X on it, or adding those little changes to it if you need to. But as long as you have those hernia codes, which they are in there in the 2023, yeah, there's no big major differences in a lot of these codes this year. It wasn't a bad update year, and I haven't heard of anything being on the exam for this year that is absolutely not in the 2023. Lots of people are still using the 2023 book and passing. Yes, we can use the 2023 book if you're taking an AAPC certification exam until December 31st. Yep, you sure can. There is one little chart. Oh my gosh, it is so handy to have actually in the E&M section too. That the 2024 book has that the 2023 doesn't have. It's the one about observation. 236. This one right here. This chart is so handy. If you get that silly question, well, it's not a silly question, it's a more difficult question. But if you get the question about observation, if a patient was in the ER and they were put into observation and they stayed less than 8 hours, the answer is this. If they stayed more than 8 hours, the answer is this. If they stayed less than 8 hours and they were on different calendar dates, let's say they came in at 11 p.m. tonight, but then they were discharged at 2 a.m. the next morning, the answer is this. And then if it's less than 8 hours, if it's more than 8 hours, different dates, then it's this. This chart is really handy. It is not in your 2023 manual. If you want to screenshot that and put that in there. But, and you know, Medicare does not pay for observation anyway, so that's where my notes come in handy for that. So like at the top, I'll write for Medicare some like 90-minute examples. What you would do if it's 90 minutes, you're going to do like that with that. If you had like a regular office visit that run over 60 minutes and you needed to do prolonged services, you're going to do a HIPAA code, that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff is handy. Be sure to know what to do if it's Medicare in E&M versus what you would do if it's just commercial. But that chart right there would be handy to update in your 2023 book. And I'm sure I have that chart posted in our Discord study group too. Or it's posted, and where it would be posted is in the room that's called E&M Resources. Yep. I'm sure it's in our Discord study group in the room called E&M Resources. I'm checking right now to make sure it's in there. Come on, Discord. She's starting back up. All right. Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk to MK. And then E&M Resources. Yep, the new times is in there too. Where's my Discord thing to show you guys? Like, so when you're in my Discord study group, right here on the side are all the little rooms that you get to choose from, and I just went in there to the E&M Resources room, and this is the one where that page, I posted it in there in March about the times changed from a range to just a given time. That picture's in there, of course. Pocket prep. Yes, we love pocket prep. Modifiers. Trying to see. Just keep scrolling backwards to find stuff. There's the E&M CPT book prep YouTube video for evaluation and management, where I went through step by step on how to do the notes. Practice exam questions are in here too. Oh yeah, nice little grids. Yeah, it should be right around here in this area, because as soon as I got the book, I started posting those images in there too. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I'll make sure it's in there. E&M resources. All right. Let me get you guys the answers to this thingy that's been up here long enough. We've got, of course, let's see, fistula is the passageway, right? And then a graft is like D. We're moving around pieces. Stenosis is narrowing. And then thromboectomy is our blood clot. And then ligation, of course, is A, our leftover. Everybody got that? There's your answers. I like how y'all did 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's pretty cool. All right, here's just some radiology. I need to do some radiation questions. I haven't done those in a long time. That's been a while since we've done some radiation questions. I don't remember anybody saying recently that that's on the exam. It's mainly like viewing a pregnancy with or without anatomical sites. You know, normally it's just heartbeat and position or something like that, but what do you think the answer is for this one? Let's check that out. We've got a difference. We've got the answer down twice for 5, 4, but we've got people going to 5, 3. Let's go see. 770. 770. Five, 3 and 5, 4, both down twice. What's our differences? Single duct or multiple ducts? How many do we have? We have several. So you know it has to be, no matter what, we know it's got to be a 54 because it's multiple ducts. Several has the same meaning as multiple. Your cat stepped on the keyboard. Well, Miss Mary, who are we billing for? Who are we billing for? Are we billing for the facility to do the test? Are we billing for the physician to read the test? Or is this a group situation where the physician owns the equipment, is performing the test, and interpreting the test? That is what this question is testing you on. If a physician owns the equipment or is performing a particular task for a hospital that owns him and is paying his salary, right, to perform a test, then it's global, and that means it's one of these codes. Oftentimes people get a lot of that mixed up. They think that if the physician owns the equipment and is doing the interpretation, that that's when you add the 26. Nope. If the physician and the group or the company that owns the machine, wherever the patient's getting this done, also is going to pay for this physician's salary, whatever, and it's all lumped into one thing, one group, one person, then that's a global code. If a tech is doing the procedure and then that result or procedure images are going to be sent electronically to a physician to have them read and interpret off-site somewhere else, that's when we're going to bill for the 26. So who are we billing for today? It says MD is performing an interpretation. So this isn't where a facility is billing for their procedure to be done on a patient. All that's being done here is this physician has been given images to give an interpretation on. And the only time we add a modifier to any CPT code is when we are changing the CPT code descriptor. If we look at 5.4 descriptor, it says we're billing for a ductogram, galactogram for multiple ducts, radiological supervision and interpretation is all included, right? But we're not billing for the tests to have been done by this physician. This physician is only looking at films that were captured by some other company and sent to him for interpretation. So we have to change this CPT code descriptor by adding a modifier saying we've got reduced services here. We're not billing for the technical component of this, aka the procedure. We're only billing for part of it, which is this physician to give the interpretation. So that's why we added the modifier 26. Does that explanation help out, guys? Sorry about the ads. Hopefully, when y'all do the replay on these videos, there's no ads in the way, or at least it doesn't cut off any of the live portion of it, and it records all of it so you don't miss any of it. Anyway, does that make sense? Let me yell at James for tossing a ball in the house. You're on a one wheel in my house playing with a ball. Have you cleaned that hoverboard's wheels? We just mopped those kitchen floors. On a hoverboard in the house, bouncing balls in the kitchen. He run around here like he ain't got to pay for nothing. Nothing that needs repairs. Child's crazy. Crazy. All right, perfect. What if we were billing for just the test to have been done without the supervision so same question, but what would be the answer? And I'm not going to give you the A, B, C, or D of it, but what would be the answer to the pink question now? Same scenario, but now we're going to just bill for the test to have been done without supervision and interpretation. How do we bill for it? If anybody gets this correct, I'll mail you a mouse pad. And so far, I don't see a correct answer. Keep trying. No one's correct yet. Hey, Mabel. We're still a 54 because we're still doing multiple galactoducts, so that's not going to change. Same patient, same scenario. We're just going to bill for the test to be done. Let me show you back the question again. Kind of, sort of. Okay, like this. But we're not billing for the interpretation this time. We're billing for the facility to have done this for this patient. Y'all give up? Oops, sorry. Dyslexic. You can do 2 modifiers if you need to tell the whole story. The patient could not tolerate the entire test being done, and you're only billing for the technical component, and you're going to send out what films you did get for interpretation to another facility to have that physician read the results. So we required 2 modifiers for this one. Isn't that cool? Yep. So just some tips for these modifiers. 52 modifier can be used if another provider interprets. Another one is that we know that if provider only does the interpretation, we're going to do our 26, and then only if it is done outside of a regular hospital situation, you know, like that we're just done at a surgery center that is not attached to a hospital, that's when you're going to add your TC. Anyway, cool question, cool sets of stuff. This case is 2 pages long. Don't let all of the codes freak you out. Take it one step at a time. Look at the available answers. See if you see any similarities. See if you see anything that will help you put these codes in a certain group, so you're not having to look up all 4 different codes, like the 4 codes in A, B, C, and D are all the same. Sometimes it's easier to come to another set of codes, and sometimes there's 2 in one area and 2 in another area. Sometimes that makes it a little easier to go to the second code. Third is all the same. So is this, and so is that. But what do you guys think the answer is for this one? These codes are on the exam. And then let me show you the second part of this question. Those of you guys, especially Smith, who is going to have their exam November 23rd, be sure you know a lot about these particular CPT codes. They have been known to be on the exam. Sorry, Mary. Let me shrink it down and make it smaller. I'm making it bigger. I'm making it bigger. There we go. Is that better? Sorry, Go-Kart. I just now got your messages. Glad you can hear me. turning off the alarm that's about to hit on my phone to remind me to go get Travis. All right. What do you guys think the answer is for this one? Two, two, 5, 3, 3, and 3, 4 are under lateral, and then 2, 2, 6, 12 is under posterior. Clearing your headers before your descriptors is super helpful. These headers are in black that you would be clearing. Lateral extra approach or posterior lateral transverse process techniques. So knowing what it means when they're in certain positions on certain types of tables can help you a lot. This one is lateral extra, lateral extra. This one, posterior, posterior. Are we going in on the side of the body, or are they facing downwards and we're going from the back to the front? Basically, kind of, sort of, what we're doing here. Just separating out the codes, and I'm just talking about the very first codes in this area. Helps get you down to 2 different ones. We're going to keep our C and A. Yes, perfect. Then it's just a difference. Are we 12 or 30? With the 12 code, you can't do nothing with it. You're going to have to go look at Mama, which is your 2, 2, 5, no, 6, sorry. 2, 2, 6, 0, 0. 2, 2, 6, 30 is its own Mama code, so it is Mama. So you'd have to look at a different one for it. One of them is doing a posterior. No, I keep hitting the wrong. A posterior or posterior lateral technique. One of them's doing posterior inner body technique. One of them is doing a laminectomy and a discectomy, and the other one is just doing the arthrocentesis. We did a laminectomy and a discectomy, which is only included in C. A is by itself. Good job. Another Mohs. We had a bunch of these the other night, Monday night. So I'm going to leave it to you guys and see if you can't figure out the answer to this question without me, based off of Monday night's lesson. These will definitely be asked on your exam. Definitely, definitely. Let's give out some YouTube memberships while y'all are working on this one, before I forget. Be sure and comment and chat so you get a chance at winning. You can type anything, even what state you're typing from, anything at all that can help enter you into the contest. Here we go. Let's see, did that work? Yep. Aw. Ishana, April, Mary Ellen, Elizabeth. All right, guys. I hope access to those exclusive content is super helpful. I've already got the guidelines done for 2025 on, what was it, eyes? So that is up. You guys will be able to watch the replays because you've got 30 days access to those videos now. Yay! Hey, MK. There she is. I've got you down for Friday at 2:30 my time zone. Is that a good time for you? I can do Saturday or Sunday also. I don't think I have any plans this weekend. I think I got you down then. I can't remember. I've got Iris tomorrow. I got MK on Friday at 2:30 if okay with her. I got go-kart at noon on Saturday. And Sunday I have Erica. So I actually got somebody every single day. Goodness. Hey, Renee. I don't know how to handle the time, 1 case, 4 parts. Ah, okay. We can bring up some of those practice exam questions for sure. because some of those cases get quite lengthy when they ask multiple questions. I was playing around with an old duck class. Where is that? Failure Friday. It was funny. I was looking at this one. Where's my Word document? Wrong one, guys. Sorry. That one. Ooh, is it going to work? Let me make it bigger. There we go. Look at this one. This was like an old class that I had on Fridays. We used to do. This one's got even more. You can't see it, but it even has. Let me erase this real quick. Grab it. It has even more questions, like, you know, it's got 3 sets of questions. Which is the first procedure code? Which is the second procedure code? Which is the diagnosis code? And it's got, you know, a huge long case, and you gotta figure it out really quickly. Yeah, this is one of our classes that we did back in the day when I had time for classes. And Lord, look at that one. I wrote all over it. Yeah. Still got them. It's just, whew. We did a lot of work in those Failure Friday classes, or whatever we used to call them, our little duck classes. It's too funny. But boy, we got some big old cases that we had to do. Crazy. All right, let me switch this back to our class for today. Modifiers. What answer did you guys get on this Mohs question? First thing you got to do is body part. Where are you located? That'll decide whether you're at 11 or 13. Took 10 minutes. Took her last test on Friday. You got 67 questions correct on the exam. No, 63. 63. I can't do math today. My brain is not working. 63 of the questions correct. You take it again in 2 weeks. Try not to get discouraged. No getting discouraged, Jenny. I've seen people take it more than a dozen times. It's not you, it's the exam. Try your very best to not read the questions, to go only from the available answers, and go from the available answers. If it was A, there are two times the doctor goes to a body part and cuts multiple things off. So it would, if it's A, I would see the doctor going to the body and cutting things off twice. If it was B, the doctor only went to the body, cut one thing off, and it would be B, right? Same thing for C. The doctor went to the body twice, cut 2 things up or off of it. And same thing for D. It would be 2 times back to the body. So that's the first thing I need to figure out. We had a first stage and we had a second stage. So having 2 stages means I can get rid of B, because you know that ain't going to be right. Our neck also gives us a big clue as to what the answer is, meaning we can get rid of 13 because that's the wrong body part for neck. Now we just need to know if it's A, that means one of the stages was cut into blocks more than 5. If the answer is D, then I know all the blocks that were cut total individually are 5 or less. So the first stage was cut into 4 blocks. Perfect. Second set of blocks was cut into how many? Reveal the second stage is necessary to remove the tumor's presence. And they were cut into 2 blocks. So that number is also under 5. We don't add those 2 blocks together. There's no adding in Mohs. So because this is a 4 and because this is a 2, we do not need to add our 15, which means our answer is D. If you do every question from the answer point of view, not from what garbage is inside here, but if it's this answer, I would have a block higher than 5. Something in here would say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something. And that is not possible or is not present in the equation. So we know it can't be A. It has to be D. You can't get it wrong if you're looking at every question from only the answer point of view. Don't worry or stress about what's going on in here yet. You only go look for that particular issue when it becomes an issue up here. I don't know if that made sense, but for this one, if I'm doing T codes, what has Jen told you? You would see what in the question? If it's a CPT code, what will we see in this question? Those answers are divided up into a T code or a CPT code. I've told you, I have you have it written right here above the 64493 codes. Up at the very tippy top of your coding page, you should have a note at the top. Plus, underneath these 644 codes, that if you did this, you'll have a T code. Jen has said. Where are we at? I can't find the codes. My brain is not working today. That's why I didn't turn on TikTok, because I was like, my brain cannot work today. I stayed up for like 48 hours straight, could not sleep for some reason. Don't know why. I tried and attempted. But then I slept last night like a rock until Travis missed the bus. And he was like, where are you at? We gotta go. I slept really good last night, but I slept too good. So now my brain is like off. But anyway, right here, what do we have written down? What do we have in our notes? If it's this, we're going to have a T code. Yes, Jenny, you got this. Been studying like crazy, and I can pass my practice exams, but when I'm timed, it kills me. My anxiety gets me. Jenny and Janelle are in the same situation. T code was on my exam. You got it. Ultrasound and fluoroscope. You got it. I think it was on my H exam. Yes. This question has been known to be on the exam for sure. So we see the word ultrasound. So we know our answer has to have a T code in it. So you know your answer cannot be C, and it cannot be, pick the wrong one, B. Right off the bat, now you're down to a 50-50. If your answer is A, you needed to add an extra radiology code to this. Well, the whole point of you moving or picking the T code is because you need that radiology, right? It's a radiology issue because radiology is global, it's included. So you know you're not going to throw another radiology at the end on top of all this mess. So you know your answer's got to be D. Attack every one of your questions like this. Don't worry about how many crap is right here. And when your question is like these multiple ones for like you have 3 questions with 1 question. Let me get back over there to it. This one. When you have 3 questions for 1 answer, I can't get my eraser to work. Always go to the 3rd question first and work your way backwards. Go to the 3rd question. Do the diagnosis one first. Then do the modifier part. And then that will help out with telling you what your answer is right here. That is always more helpful, is to go backwards on those questions. And get back to our modifier one. Here we go. And we got D as our answer. Ooh, another Mohs, Mohs, whatever you want to call it. Is this one multiple pages? Yes, we're multiple pages. Yes, oral and rectal administration is without contrast. It sure is. Good night, McNair. Oh, no worries, Weber. I hope you can watch the replay. It's been a really good night. We've taught lots of really good lessons, especially in the modifier issue area. Same happened to you too, MK. Must be something in the atmosphere. I absolutely just could not sleep one bit. Laid there, awake as could be. You did the modifier and the diagnosis ones first? Good. Good. Everybody got D? Perfect. Y'all are getting so good at those now. Let me get this one formatted right. Here we go. Eyes? Are we in the eye area? Yeah. All right, are we 14 or 17, or are we in the 24 and 21 range? Or will the modifiers help us out? 6, 7, 9. Aww. Yes, it's very hard sometimes to focus your brain and slow it down during that exam and be kind of like militant. We're going to this answer. We're only looking for what my differences are in my answers. Don't let your brain wander and think about other things that are not showing up in front of you. My differences right away. Am I a 14 or 17? First clear that. 14, 17, 21. We're entropian. We're not ectotropian, so we know right away we're not 14 or 17 because we don't have a C in the word right there. We know we have to be a 21 or a 24, and it's just a difference between a regular repair or an extensive one, and we just need to look for some words that might mean extensive. And we did a suture. But along with doing the suture, we had to also do some stripping. And if you do the stripping, you know you get to move down and bill that more expensive code, which is our 24, which is B. We do get to bill for B. Perfect. What about this one? If you're looking at this one, you should be able to answer it by only looking at the answers and pick out the correct answer in like 1 second. And you should not even have to read one word of the exam question at all. What is obviously the answer? It's yelling at you. With all of these questions in this body part, what is always global, always already included with these codes? What is one answer that doesn't have it? That is obviously the answer. You should not have to look at one word of this question. You should have looked at your available answers, seeing that you have, even if you only hyper-focused on the front codes right here, you saw that you had two that start off with the same answer, and then the only difference between those two is this code. You know it's global, right? So obviously your answer is, but the other thing that is interesting is that you've got three answers that have radiology in it, only one answer that doesn't. Super easy question. Just pick the one without radiology in it and move on to your next question. Don't think too hard. Don't let your brain think of anything. Clear your mind. Stop being a coder and be a good exam taker person, where you first ignore all the side noise, don't stress. Hyper focus on the first set of numbers. That's all they are, just numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? You see that two answers have the same answer. We're going to hyper focus on those two. What's my difference in just those sets of numbers? Radiology. We know this is always included 99.9% of the time. So we're just going to pick D and move on. Don't be reading these questions. Shut down that head of yours and get absolutely nothing coming in. You don't want your brain thinking about anything other than what's right in front of you. Those available answers. That's it. We got critical care. We need to know, do we add the add-on code? Well, if we are going to add the add-on code, the only thing I need to look for is time, right? So what's my time need to be if I'm going to use the add-on code? We need to have something over 75 minutes. If it's over 75 minutes, then yeah, we're going to add it. How much time did we have? We had 104. Great. 104 is located right here, and it tells me what the answer is. I just need an answer with both the numbers, the number and the add-on code, without anything times, right? So the only available answer in front of me that has both the number and the add-on code without it being times is only A. There's my answer. Move on to your next question. Don't let another thought in your head, and don't read anything in those questions. The only thing I needed to know was time. But you got to train your brain not to go looking for stuff that hasn't even been mentioned in this particular question. You may have seen 1,000 questions that all deal with critical care and whether you did CPR, and there's just a lot of different guidelines that you could be thinking about, but you don't need to in this question. The only thing you needed to worry about is, first thing, do I have to use my add-on code? Well, to figure that out, all I need to do is look to see how much time we had in critical care. So we definitely had 104 minutes in critical care. So my chart says 75 and above, we get to add our add-on code. So that knocks B out of the way. And if I did have a total of 104, what's my answer? I need both codes with no timesing. So, of the available answers, A is the only possible answer. Don't think about nothing unless it's going to affect which answer you pick. Age is all I'm thinking right here. Age makes a difference here, right? So, 10-day-old baby is only coded with what codes out of all of these? Only A and B, right? What is NICU? Is NICU global, where everything you do to them is one code, or do you get to bill for all the other stuff that you do to them? That's the only thing I gotta know, and that ain't gonna help me in here. If you don't know that particular guideline or have it written above the 68 code, then it's not gonna help you. If an adult is in ICU, you can bill for this stuff. But if it's a baby and they're in NICU, it's global. You don't get to bill for this. So having that little guideline written above these codes helps you out. Knowing by sight, by using my flashcards that I've got that you guys can download without opening my book, I know my first thought is these two codes are for older kids, these two codes are for newborns. 10-day-old can only utilize A and B, and then I look to see if they're NICU. NICU, everything's global. We ain't billing nothing with it. There you go. A is your answer. Don't let your brain wander and think about a bunch of things. You're only responsible per question what that one question is asking you. Hyper focus and calm that brain down and only focus on the question. Sometimes wearing noise canceling headphones helps. Sometimes chewing gum, giving your jaw something to do, I don't know, quiets some people's brains. Definitely use peppermint gum if you can, because the scent of peppermint helps your brain focus better. I don't know how you regulate your sleep, because there's some nights where I need 6.5 hours of sleep. That is my sweet spot. If I get any more than that, my brain is sluggish. If I get less than that, I'm space cadet girl. So you have to get your sweet spot sleep the night before your exam. And that's good to know. But training your brain to calm down, I don't know. That's the hardest part. And to stop trying to filter through your memories of what all you need to remember for the exam. You got to slow that down. You got to get your brain to stop doing that. Don't go looking for anything unless it's in front of you and it affects the answer. You may know what this medical term means. And then we gotta go. I gotta go pick up Travi. Where are we at? We're here. Okay. I've got more practice exam questions for Friday. I still got a couple of them prepped. I'll prep some more. I'll do some chemo ones too. Chemo and radiation. Practice questions. You guys let me know by typing in any of the videos that I have posted. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see for Friday's live lesson. We'll be back then. I hope this has been super helpful for tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I hope the weather is great for everybody and no issues. Hydration. All right, more hydration. Good night, Janelle. Everybody got B for this one? It is essential for function of elements of an organ. So, what is the function in organs? So, if it's essential or a function of an element of an organ, then what would be a function of the organ? We'll finish up this last one and we'll be done. Yes, everybody be good, be careful. Sending best of thoughts to everyone tonight. So proud of you guys. I hope this is helpful. Vascular exchange of material. B for this one. Close. Regenerate cells. Yeah. But how do you regenerate them? You exchange materials with other organs. Got to get, deoxygenated blood to one area and then get it to another area, You got to do your exchanges. So, I hate those types of questions. Which is not only correct, but which one is the most correct answer? Hate them. I can't never do them myself. You're welcome. I hope this was helpful. I love you guys. I will see you on Friday. Good night, guys. Good night, Jenny. Good night, Mary, Miko. Good night. Mabel, Janelle, everybody. See you guys on Friday. Probably tonight on TikTok for more Harry Potter and practice exam questions while I am working on that lovely study guide I'm trying to get out. I think I'm fighting an uphill battle because I just keep wanting to add more stuff to it, but I'm going to try to finish one this year. I swear to Bob. All right, guys. Love y'all.